I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. Before we get started with no half-step and hockey coverage, first let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you'll learn everything you need to know about the show, once you're getting educated about the show. Click on that merchandise tab. It takes you straight to our classic logo t-shirt and all the different gimmicks you've come to know and love and expect from the Renegades of Puck. Socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, it's all in our online store. It's all going to remain available for as long as we exist. The best way to say it is that we've sold out so that you, Renegades, can buy in. Social media is of absolute critical importance to this independent hockey operation, so whatever it is that is your pleasure as far as social media and your favorite platform, please, Instagram, we like that place. It's good. X, but we are on Threads. We're also on Facebook, and you can still find us on X, even though it's not really going very well over there. So we sure would like that follow and help us out on social media. So please help us out wherever you can. Remember, you can find the show on our YouTube channel. That's where the podcast is exclusively available this season. So give us a like on the videos on our YouTube channel. Also subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications. Do all the things you have to do to help us out. It doesn't cost you a thing. It doesn't take you but a second, but it goes a long way to helping out this independent hockey operation. Unaffiliated and independent. Remember that. Those are important things to me. Remember also there's a tip jar right there. Tip jar. Do you want to throw some money our way? You can do it. Scan the QR code or search Renegades of Puck and Venmo. Whatever it is you choose to do for that, throw us $1. If we're getting on a good rant, we got some good information for you, you're enjoying checking out the show, you think I'm funny. Probably not. Check it out. Go over there and or put $1 in there in the swear jar for me for the F-bomb I dropped in the last episode. But that's the tip jar. It's over there. Virtual tip jar is available for you the entirety of the episode. Now, what is it time for? It's time for the half-step and hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 923. That is right. It is time for show number 923, and at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in 8th place in the Central Division after 12 games skated. Their record of 4-7-1, 9 points has them 13 points behind first place Winnipeg at this early point in the season. On the road, which the Predators' next 2 games will take place. The Predators have a record of 1-1-1 so far. They've scored 29 on the season. They've given up 41. The goal differential overall of -12. Now, the Central Division standings, their most recent update, the Winnipeg Jets, I mentioned, are in first place, continuing to be off to a red-hot start. What team wouldn't want to be 11-1 after the first 12 games with 22 points, and in first place by 4 points over the Minnesota Wild, who have 18 points. Dallas Stars have 14 points, and then you'll find the Utah Hockey Club at 13. St. Louis Blues in 5th place at 12. Chicago's got 11. Colorado's got 10. The Preds in last place in the division with 9 points overall. Now, for the Predators, first night of back-to-backs, this time in Washington. We'll break down the Caps game here in just a second, but let's talk about what the Preds go up for after this game, and it's an immediate trip to Florida to play against easily one of the best teams in the NHL, the Florida Panthers. So a back-to-back, Washington night 1, Florida the second night, back home to face off against the Utah Hockey Club on Saturday on the 11th of November. It is at Colorado the 14th, at Edmonton the 15th, at Calgary. That's the CMA road trip. You know the one, and it's going to be as important as it's ever been this time around. We'll talk more about that later on. The season series between the Preds and the Washington Capitals, one of 2 games, is the one we're previewing. The second game will take place January the 11th of 2025. Those numbers used to sound so science fiction. Now they don't at all. They're coming up very soon. So January the 11th of 2025, the Preds will host the Washington Capitals here at Bridgestone Arena. Let's talk about that Capitals team that the Predators are going off to face on Wednesday night. 8-3-0 on the season, 16 points, has them 4th place overall in the Metropolitan Division. 6-1 on the home rink, though. That is dominant. 46 goals for, 33 goals against, the goal differential of +13. In their most recent stretch of action, to see how they're doing currently, on the 26th of October, we find a 3-0 loss at Tampa Bay. On the 29th, a 5-3 win versus the New York Rangers. On the 31st of October, a 6-3 win versus Montreal. And on the 2nd of November, a 7-2 win versus the Columbus Blue Jackets. Most recently, on the 3rd of November, so they had back-to-backs. The second night of the back-to-back, picking up a 4-2 loss in Carolina. So again, on home ice, 5-3 over the Rangers, 6-3 over Montreal, 7-2 over Columbus, their last 3 home games. So please take note of that. 6-1 again on the home rink, and the Predators so far not off to the best start this season. So let's get into the numbers between these two teams in this particular matchup at this exact moment of the season. The goals for category is dramatically led by the Washington Capitals. So let me give you the Preds number first for dramatic effect. 2.42 for the Nashville Predators. Goals per game is 29th rated overall in the league, while the Washington Capitals 4.18 is third overall in the league in goals for per game. The Caps are also top 10 in the league in goals against, giving up 3 per game even. That's 10th overall. The goals against for the Predators are 3.42, which is 24th. So the Predators giving up a full goal a game more than they are scoring. In the shots category, shots on net category, the Predators were near the tops of the league for a couple of weeks. They are slowly dipping backward now, especially after the most recent performance. 32.7, though, is still good for fourth in the NHL. 29.6 for this Washington team is 14th. In the shots against category, 28.4 for Nashville is 13th. 27 for Washington is 5th. So this is the third consecutive team that's had a very low shots against volume, and the Predators have been struggling to penetrate and break through those particular metrics. So 5th in the league in shots against are what the Washington Capitals are. So something to watch for. The Predators have had trouble with special teams. Let's talk about it. Washington's power play, it's not so great, converting at 10.8%, 30th in the NHL, only 4 conversions out of 37 opportunities, while the Predators' power play is doing better, converting at 22%, 13th best in the league, 9 conversions out of 41 opportunities. Both top 10 in the penalty kill, but the Predators are substantially ahead in the top 10. Hard to do that, but you'll understand. 92.1% is second overall in the NHL. 3 power play goals against on the penalty kill, while the Washington Capitals are killing off 84.6%. That's 8th best in the NHL. They've given up just 6 power play goals against this season. Now, when it comes to the individual statistics leaders, let's talk about the top 5 scorers for each of these teams. What do you say we start on the visiting side, Nashville Predators? Philip Forsberg, 6 goals and 4 assists for 10 total points. Ryan O'Reilly's at 3 and 6 for 9. Nyquist is at 4 and 3 for a total of 7 points. Marchessault is at 2 goals and 5 assists for 7 points. And the captain, Roman Jossi's at a goal and 6 assists for 7 total points. Over on the home team side of things for this matchup, the Washington Capitals, Strome off to an incredible start this season. 4 goals, 13 assists, 17 points. Ovechkin continues marching towards Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring record, now has 7 more this season, and typically does quite well against the Nashville Predators. He also has 7 more assists this season for 14 total points, second on the Caps in scoring. McMichael is at 7 and 5 for 12. Protas, 4 and 7 for 11. And Wilson has 6 goals, 3 assists for 9 total points. Anticipated goaltender matchup. Check this out. Thompson, 5-0-0 on the season at 2.97 goals against average and 8.94 save percentage, and just on a roll right now. UC Saros, not the same. 3-6-1, 2.83 goals against average, 9.02 save percentage, and 1 shutout on the season. Listen, that's got you all set up for the Predators at the Washington Capitals. It's the first night of back-to-backs for the Preds. That is always significant, always important, and with the Predators crashing out on their most recent homestand, it is going to be curious to see how Andrew Brunette deploys his lines and D combinations. First night of back-to-backs allows him a little bit of breathing room to go ahead and shift some things around that maybe he wouldn't normally try. It's about time to start trying those things, and you're going to find out more about that coming up next. It's the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We got to go back to Bridgestone Arena on Monday night. We got to check in on what happened between the Predators and the LA Kings. It's coming up next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to November the 4th of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were facing off versus the LA Kings. Head coach Andrew Brunette deploys his lines and defensive pairings in the following way. Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Stamkos, Parsonen, and Marchessault, Jankowski, Novak, Evangelista, LaRue, Sissons, and Smith. Your defensive pairings are Shea and Yossi, Luzon and Carrier, Del Gaizo and Shen. UC Saros gets the start in net on home ice for the Predators. 31 seconds into the first period, it is UC Saros with the first activity of the game, and it's a save on Kevin Fiala. That's the first shot on goal of the game. At 1:51 of the first period, UC Saros coming with a save on Gavrikov. At 5:28 of the first, it's Edmondson off the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Give us our first special teams scenario. The Predators to the power play, but they would generate 0 shots on goal. As a matter of fact, LA would get the best chance shorthanded during this 2-minute exchange. At the 9:23 mark of the first period, we find UC Saros back to work, coming with a save on Kempe. Then at 9:56, Saros another save on Fogel's deflection. At the 13:06 mark of the first period, it is Kemper coming with a save on LaRue. Finally, the Nashville Predators generating a shot on goal. It is then 13:24, just seconds after the Predators generate that shot on goal. It's Anze Kopitar, who we spent a lot of time talking about in the last episode, scoring his 5th goal of the season below the goal line, banks it off of UC Saros and into the net. Legitimately a trick shot in this scenario, a little bit different than what we saw the other night against Colorado, but Anze Kopitar's 5th goal of the season puts the LA Kings on the board and gives them a 1-0 lead in the first. 13:46 of the first period, so just seconds after Kopitar scores that goal, Jankowski's off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. UC Saros comes with a save on Lafreniere. The Nashville Predators penalty kill, second best in the NHL, is able to hold in this situation. 16:06 of the first period, Saros comes with a save on Lewis. At 17:27, Kemper comes up with a save on LaRue. And at 19:15, Kemper comes up with another save on LaRue. By far the best chance of the period for the Nashville Predators, coming in the final minute of the period, and all of the chances in the first period for the Predators seeming to come from Zach LaRue. At the end of the first period, the LA Kings lead by 1 and are out shooting the Predators 12-6. Only 6 shots on goal in the first period for the Predators. 29 seconds into the second period, it is UC Saros coming to save on Kevin Fiala. Second straight period of this game where Kevin Fiala has had a really good scoring chance. You might want to mark that for later. 1:11 of the second period, Kemper comes up with a save on Sissons. Strong scoring chance right here by the Nashville Predators. At the 3:07 mark, Kemper comes up with a save on Yossi, and for the first time in this game, the Predators seem to have a little bit of offense going. The 4:19 mark of the second period, UC Saros coming with a save on Fogel. At 4:47 now of the second period. Really interesting play right here. Saros comes up with a save on Byfield. The rebound trickles to the goal line and was absolutely going to go in, but then Del Gaizo gets there just in time, clears it off of the goal line and out of harm's way. So again, a second game in a row where UC Saros gets some support from one of the Predator skaters, pulling a puck off of the goal line. Great job by Mark Del Gaizo right here. Now, things start to get interesting in the second period right here. 6:36 now of the second period. It's Shen versus Jeannot. That's right, Tanner Jeannot back in the house and doing what Predators fans remember him doing quite well. Getting beat up. He got beat up in this one. He really did. 5 minutes each for the two of them, though, and a good, healthy scrap there. But that was just the beginning of things, because now at 8:27, so just 2 minutes later, it's Burrows picking up a penalty, 2 minutes for kneeing. Now, on that knee situation, O'Reilly most definitely took exception and went after Burrows, and they end up having a scrap, pick up 5 minutes each. I was really surprised that O'Reilly didn't pick up an instigator on this. It was kind of the classic instigator situation. A guy puts a hit on someone, and then another player comes in and challenges him to a fight, but Burrows ends up getting the extra 2, and the Nashville Predators end up getting a power play out of this scenario. But kind of a wild sequence here in the middle of the second period. It's not the end of it. Kemper would come up with a save on Luke Evangelista during that power play, and that would be about it for the Nashville Predators. Now, we hit the 13:29 mark of the second, and it's Deneau and Luzon off to the box. 2 minutes each for roughing 4-on-4. Luzon absolutely crushed his man along the wall. It didn't seem like Luzon did anything to actually deserve a penalty. It was a reaction from the Kings on Luzon's clean hit that led to the initial penalty, but Luzon in the box as well, so a 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes, and then we return to even strength hockey, and in 15:32 we find Kemper coming with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. 16:30 Kemper, another save on Brady Shea, so the Preds' only shots on goal here towards the dwindling moments of the second period are coming from long range. Predators ended with 7 shots on goal in the second period for a total of 13 after 2. The Kings only 3 shots on goal in the second period, and all of them coming quite early in the period, in the first 4:47. So the Predators, a much more competitive second period and a very physical second period, one of the more physical periods we've seen all season long. Now, clean sheet third period, 35 seconds in, and the trend from the first and the second period continues as Kevin Fiala on the first period is off and running, and he's picking up his 6th goal. Did not convert at 31 seconds of the first, did not convert 29 seconds of the second, but does convert at 35 seconds of the third. His 6th goal of the season was a rebound put back, and the LA Kings take a 2-0 lead in this game at Bridgestone Arena. At the 1:14 mark of the third period, Tommy Novak off to the box, 2 minutes for hooking. UC Saros comes up with a save on Fogle. Preds PK does a good job of holding. Saros comes up with a save on Byfield at 5:43. It's 7:53. Nyquist is off the box, 2 minutes for slashing. UC Saros comes up with a big save on Lafreniere, and the Preds penalty kill holds yet again. To the backside of the sheet, and we pick it up at 12:21 when we find Gavrikov headed to the box, 2 minutes for cross-checking, but Marchessault off to the box immediately, 2 minutes for high sticking after that. So we have a 4-on-4 and then a brief Kings power play. Nothing comes out of any of this special teams situation. 15-15 in the third period. UC Saros coming with a save on Fogle at 16:05 mark of the third. It's Kemper coming with a save on the captain, Roman Josi. That's the first shot on goal of the period for the Nashville Predators. That's right, at 16:05 of the third period is when the Predators get their first shot on goal of the period. 17:02, Kempe, empty net goal. It's his 5th of the season. That makes it 3-0, so less than a minute after the Predators finally get a shot, the Kings add an empty netter, and that will do it. 18:56, Kemper does come up with one more save on Forsberg. I thought I'd make that notation so the Predators could at least get credit for one more shot on goal in the game. 3-0 for the LA Kings. The LA Kings outshoot the Nashville Predators 27-16, and there is not a way to sugarcoat this one. This game was awful, and the Nashville Predators did not have the effort that you need to win at this level. They did not have the skill. They did not have the precision. They did not have anything you need to put in the toolbox and bring to the rink to beat anyone in the NHL. The LA Kings, a good hockey team. The Nashville Predators should be much better and more competitive than that. The Kings got 2 easy points against this Predators team last night. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. I wonder which direction the analysis portion of things is going to go. Find out next, right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Now let's get into some analysis. And you know what? I tried to go through and I tried to find a couple of things that I could talk about that perhaps wouldn't get me too irate, wouldn't get me putting money in the swear jar again. So let's talk about UC Saros. We always start with the goaltenders. Let's start with UC Saros. 24 out of 26. You know what? I thought he had a pretty decent performance. 2 goals against. He played all right. You know what? The team in front of him, not so much, but he did get some help from Del Gaizo. So there was support there. It just didn't come in the form of any offense. And no matter how good the goaltender is, he cannot win a game if the team in front of him does not score. And really, frankly, it didn't even seem like they had any chance of scoring, especially in that third period. So UC Saros, not bad. The team in front of him, not good. LaRue, 3 shots on goal, all of them coming in the first period, trying to get something going. Also had a hit in this game, 9:48 total time on ice, and he was trying to start a scrum, trying to get in some people's faces, and I love that. I'd like to see more of that. If this team is starting to fall out of the standings already by the early parts of November, then let's turn LaRue loose, and let's see what he can do as far as being the next Jordan Tutu-like player on this Nashville Predators franchise. So I thought LaRue was very noticeable. I thought he was trying to get things going, and it was a tough night overall when barely any of your teammates are bringing any energy, bringing any effort, bringing the jam. It's tough to carry that all by yourself, especially as a rookie with only a handful of games of experience. Del Gaizo, wanted to give him some stick taps right here. 15:26 of time on ice was good, but that clearing the puck off the goal line was great, and his effort was outstanding throughout this game. Del Gaizo, I do not have any question about him. He is a solid prospect. The more experience he gets, the more minutes that he gets, the more games played in the NHL, the better he's going to be. And I think he's going to be a consistent player at this level. He's just very smooth. You notice, you don't. You get it? A good defenseman is somebody you don't notice a whole lot during a game. Everybody knows that cliche. Mark Del Gaizo is doing good work out there and not getting torched, because the guys that are getting torched are the guys that came to the top of your head as soon as I brought it up. Schenn had 2 block shots in this game, also had 5 hits to lead the Predators, had a fight in this game, and he beat up Tanner Jeannot. I mean, that amused me, at least for a second. There wasn't a whole lot of enjoyment or entertainment in this one, but Luke Schenn beating up Tanner Jeannot at Bridgestone Arena, that's fun stuff. 13:56 of total time on ice for Schenn in this game. O'Reilly, quote, after the game, giving to Alex Daughtry at the Tennessean, I played one of the worst games of my career, gotten one of the only fights of his career, and frankly, when you look at his stat line, not very Ryan O'Reilly-like. He was a -2, only had 1 shot on goal, missed 2 shots, blocked a shot, had 5 penalty minutes for fighting, lucky not to pick up the instigator right there. Did have a giveaway and only skated 15:22 in total time on ice. So Ryan O'Reilly is pissed at himself. And if there's one thing I know about the veteran and the competitive nature that Ryan O'Reilly has, he is going to come back and come back strong from this. Sometimes us longtime veterans just need to crash out, reset, and get going again in the right direction. I think O'Reilly's going to be just fine. He took ownership of having a bad night. And let's remind everybody, as a veteran, he's not just taking ownership for himself. He's taking ownership as a veteran for the entirety of his team's performance. The players around him will look to that. They'll look up to that, and they will try to up their game to try to support the guy that's taking the blame on his shoulders. It's a crafty veteran move that you've seen utilized plenty of times, and Ryan O'Reilly definitely fits that sentiment right there. So let's hear from our good friends. I told you I wasn't going to get worked up. I was going to give you some analysis. I mean, there's still a chance, so let's hang in there. Stripe Digital Solutions is one of our best friends and one of our best partners here on the show, and has been since we started this show, and we are so thankful for their digital management and their digital assistance. We could not make this happen without them. Let's hear from Stripe Digital Solutions. Let's come back, let's get into the box score, and let's close this episode out. Let's close a little better than the Preds did in the third period. What do you say? Coming back, Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. Let's get into the box score. Well, that was easy. I mean, no goals, no assists. All right, fine. I'll play the game. 4 shots on goal for Roman Josi led the way in that category. LaRue had 3. Forsberg had 2. Block shots, 2 was the highest number. Shea and Shen, Josi and Carey. So 4 of the 6 defensemen in this game had 2 block shots, co-leading for the team lead. And Colton Sissons had 2 block shots as well. When it comes to hits, it was Luke Shen with 5. Mentioned that earlier. Also Smith and Forsberg adding 3 apiece. Your time on ice leaders, 19:37 for Nyquist, 18:41 for Marchessault, so 18:15 for Philip Forsberg. On the defensive side of things, 25:04 for Roman Josi, no surprise there. 21:30 for Shea, 20:43. Now, when it comes to the power play, the Nashville Predators game were 0 for 3 the power play time on ice. Leaders 306 for Forsberg, 302 for Marchessault, 322 for Stamkos, 258 for the captain, Roman Josi. The penalty kill, give these guys some credit, give this unit credit yet again. 4 out of 4 perfect in this game, and their time on ice leaders at forward, 3:21 for Colton Sissons, 3:05 for Mark Jankowski, and 3 minutes for Gus Nyquist. Again, Gus Nyquist continues being one of the most consistent players overall on this team so far this season. On the defensive side of things, your time on ice leaders shorthanded, 4:45 for Luzon, 4:42 for Alex Carey. And again, the unit overall, perfect 4 out of 4, and they are second best in the NHL, 92.1% kill rate. One of the brightest of bright spots for this Nashville Predators team this season. And to have a great penalty kill unit is certainly fantastic, but not if it's the only unit that's going in a good direction. It's got to turn around. It's got to turn around quickly. Your goaltender in this game was UC Saros. He got the start. He took the loss. He went 24 out of 26. He gave up 2 goals against the empty netter, responsible for the final goal. 923 in-game save percentage. Again, I thought he played all right. The team in front of him just didn't get it done. 18 even strength saves, 5 power play saves, 1 shorthanded saves on that particular situation. It was the only shot on goal during that Preds power play. A shorthanded UC Saros handled that one well. Other numbers falling out of the box score, face-off winning percentage. It's been above 50 and well above 50 most of this season, trending downwards now. 45.5% is simply not good enough. Not starting with the puck means not possessing the puck, which means having to work harder to get the puck, which means you end up not scoring any goals. 21 hits in this game, reasonable. Could have been a lot more, especially the way the game was starting to unfold in the second period. 14 block shots, 3 takeaways. Got to get more aggressive on the puck. The Predators have to get more aggressive on players with the puck. They have to start taking possessions away from the other team. 11 giveaways again, failing to take away possessions, but then giving away possessions routinely throughout the season. I was trying to think of a better word, but routinely will work out right there. All right, that's going to do it for the box score. The good, cold, hard numbers, they reveal all. Let's close this thing out, and there's 2 thoughts I have about closing this out. The CMA road trip, it is about to begin. It is not beginning today. This road trip is a 2-game trip to Washington and Florida, then home against Utah. Then the CMA road trip begins on the 11th. I've got to tell you, though, add in these 2 road games and add in that Utah game as well. This is the make or break stretch for this Nashville Predators team. The franchise, they have been there before. They have been in this exact situation a number of times before. That's why we always have that general rule of not becoming too hyper critical and not overthinking too much until the results of the CMA road trip. The CMA road trip has customarily been an opportunity for this team to get away from Bridgestone Arena, get out of Nashville, and frankly, get their shit together. And that's exactly what they need to do right now. I would add, because of the record, because of only having 9 points after 12 games, because of being in last place, I would add these 2 games in Washington and Florida as part of the CMA road trip. So the stretch of hockey beginning in Washington and ending at the end of the CMA road trip is a make or break scenario for this Nashville Predators team. And why do I term it that? They've had opportunities to go on the road, get their shit together at this time of the year, come back and have a fantastic season moving forward. They've done that a number of times. It's a kind of a cliche thing. It's almost like UC Saros having a bad October but still being a Vezina finalist at the end of the season. You know, this Predators team has some funky eccentricities about their historical nature, and this is one of them. Through the CMA road trip, they typically don't have it together, and then sometimes the CMA road trip is that spark that gets them together. And there have been other times when they've gotten their brains beat out on that road trip, and that's the other side of that coin. And something that you have to think about, something has to be a concern. Why is it make or break? Why is it make or break? Because, well, Penalty Box Radio talked to Barry Trotz, 102.5 The Game here in town, and they found the quote, "I have a rebuild plan." Now, that comes from the general manager, Barry Trotz. How did Barry Trotz go from 12 games ago, I've signed proven winners and we are going to make a run at it and our window is open for a short amount of time? Did he really mean that amount of time was 20 games before blowing it up? I have a rebuild plan. Well, the rebuild plan started when he got hired and began a year ago, but then they decided to deviate from the rebuild plan and go to the proven winners plan. So it sure sounds like the beginnings of the comments of after just 12 games, we made some big mistakes and now we're going to have to make some drastic changes. So is it make or break? I think it is. If the Predators don't turn their record around by the 20-game mark this season or show some signs of life, I think that Barry Trotz is fully prepared to go ahead and blow this thing up for assets moving forward. That is a troubling thought, to go from proven winners to blowing it up for assets, and I have a rebuild plan in the first 12 games of the season. We'll see where we are in a couple of weeks, but that is a massive, massive piece of information coming out of the GM. Thank you to 102.5 The Game for getting us that information right before we recorded this show. Appreciate you guys. Listen, that's going to do it for Operation 923. We broke it down. We talked about it. We gave you some fair assessment on it. It wasn't pretty. It was, a matter of fact, it was pretty damn ugly. I didn't like it. I didn't find a lot of enjoyment out of it. Other than Tanner Jeannot getting beat up at Bridgestone Arena, I didn't really find a whole lot to get excited about in this one. A win's, a loss, it's whatever. But the style and the way the game is played is what I like to cover. And that was half-stepping. Half-stepping was detected by the Nashville Predators at Bridgestone Arena. And I could not insult you more than that. That's going to do it for episode number 923. Let's take a break. Let's come back. Let's refresh. Let's come back Wednesday night. First night of back-to-backs. We'll get in the trenches. We'll cover it all right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. The most important thing I like to say at the end of every show is I appreciate your viewership. I appreciate your time. And the most important thing I appreciate is each and every one of you. Stick taps, love, and respect. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.